family, this is Blue Nola. I am in the building with another reading. I hope you guys are doing well. Let's just jump right into it. It's huge. So this is a highly requested reading on Johnny Depp and the defamation lawsuit that he has against his ex-wife, Amber Heard. Child has been going down all week long, and I'm hearing that this trial is supposed to go 6 weeks from start to finish, right? He is claiming that she's lying on him about abuse, that she wrote an article that referenced him, even though she didn't mention his name. And she's saying it happened. She's saying it happened. So we're going to just do a reading on this situation and see, like, what is the energy around him. I'll give you my opinion towards the end. Let's stick closely to the questions, all right? So I won't be inserting too much of my opinion into it, okay? The first thing I want to know is about this article, all right? Even though she didn't mention his name, she referenced the relationships that she was in. She referenced some past experiences that she had, and she talked about the Me Too movement and all the things that are surrounding that, right? So it's a little tricky in how she worded everything. So the first question I have is simply, was she speaking about her relationship with Johnny Depp? Now, her law team, her lawyers, are trying to say she is the First Amendment rights, right, to speak on this situation. So they want the jury to focus on that. So let's go ahead and look into the energy and see what's happening. Now, with the First Amendment, you have the right to speak, but not at the expense of somebody's livelihood, not at the expense of somebody's demise. So was she speaking about Johnny Depp, her husband? Was she speaking about Johnny Depp, her husband, when she, the Fool card in reverse, when she wrote that article? Give me the energy around it. And why did she write the article? That is the question. What is the energy around Amber Heard and Johnny Depp? So much going on here already. Cards flying out like left and right. Give me the energy. So let's just start with the fact that it was about Johnny Depp. The Fool card is in reverse in the first card. She's the Queen of Pentacles, along with the Moon card in reverse, the Death card in reverse, the Four of Swords. This is in an effort to affect him, and this is an effort to elevate herself. And she is talking in this energy about the fact that there was confusion, domestic V going on. This is what she's talking about. So let's just start with the first card, which is the Fool card. Now, y'all know I break things down on my second channel, Sessions with Nola. I actually break things down for y'all a little further, but let's just talk about the Fool card from a health perspective. This represents a person who's saying to herself, and that's why I asked the question. I am dealing with a man who has some health disorders. He is unbalanced, right? This is somebody who has an alcoholism energy. This is somebody who has a depression energy. This is somebody I'm dealing with that has a drug addiction energy. She has accused him of all of that during this trial, right? This is what that talks about. We've been living in confusion. A relationship hit a stagnant point. We're running into trouble. I faced obstacles and delays, and I've been stressed out and burned out. She was talking about a husband and his experience. So let's start with that. I want to knock out another thing. The other part of this is she used this experience, the Me Too movement, the experience that she had, in order to what? Create an opportunity for herself. And I say that because a lot of times people are now, just like with Jussie Smollett and Meg Thee Stallion and some other celebrities, when they're in tumultuous situations, society, right, we have a tendency to elevate those folks up, right? And I'll just use Meg Thee Stallion situation. You know, once she had that experience with Tori, her career just skyrocketed. Similar to Rihanna. Rihanna was successful before the Chris Brown situation, but it catapulted her career. So this is what she's trying to do. She's trying to attach herself to that situation, the Me Too movement, her experience, in order to what? Create opportunities for herself. As crazy as it sounds, right? Pay attention to me. Pay attention to me. That's what that Queen of Pentacles talks about, right? I'm going to talk about this story so that I can have people, I can attach myself to the Me Too movement. I can create opportunities for myself, right? My movie's coming out, right? I get some more attention, right? Using this in a way to elevate, for clout, for attention. That's what that talks about, right? The problem is it backfired on her, right? It backfired on her. Because let me say this. When you're taping people and you're creating scenarios, is not a good look. That Moon card, people don't understand that. Like, that's a confusion energy for people. People are trying to say, well, what was really going on? Were you trying to create something? Were you trying to poke the bear? So this is why the court of public opinion is whipping her ass, right? With that imaginary belt, because they don't like the fact that she, in her videos, seems to be setting scenarios up and poking the bear and trying to get a reaction in order to get it on tape. Thus, the moon card is in reverse, right? That talks about somebody who tries to create confusion, somebody who puts something out, but the fact that she was setting things up and taping things, right, that created misinterpretation. And again, people they're questioning the validity of what you were doing. Think about a time when you press record on somebody that you got into it with, regardless of what the situation was. You're going to always kind of balance your energy, just like she was doing in the video. Well, what is wrong? What's going on? I'm just standing here, right? You're going to always balance your energy and allow that person to react so that you can catch them. It backfired on her. That's what that talks about. So she definitely was talking about him in this situation. She definitely used the situation to catapult her career, to get some attention, to attach herself to the Me Too movement, to make some money opportunities. And she definitely was taping him to use it for a rainy day, a later date, to do exactly what she did. Once the relationship was over, just like they said, she did what she did, right? The relationship became stagnant. They ran into trouble. It ran its course, and she did what she did. Now, there's something else that's popping through here as I'm speaking, right? Outside of the fact that that once he wanted to end it, she decided she was going to derail him. If somebody said, did she intentionally sabotage Johnny Depp? Moon card, death card, 3 of swords, 4 of swords in reverse. That is a sabotage energy. We don't need the hangman here to say she sabotaged him, because what she has done in essence by writing that article, even though she didn't say his name, the time frames that she actually alluded to, right? That stagnant, that death card is stagnant energy. That was a change energy. That's people who are now in fear of, oh, what's going on? He's abusing, what's happening, right? That 3 of swords, the 3 of wands is causing trouble for him, right? Delay, slowing down his projects. That 4 of swords is creating stress in the environment, right? So there's a few things going on here as I'm reading the cards. So totally was talking about him. Totally did it to create an opportunity and a buzz to elevate herself, right? Totally set it up in order to, and like I said, that was the one thing when I was watching like a couple of the videos and I saw her, what do you mean? What's wrong? When he was slamming the stuff, it's like she stood there, she's recording, she's jumping in front of the video. These are things that she's doing. It's very strategic, but it backfires on her. Now she's seen as someone who is trying to set him up, right? Now let me say this. They did have problems. The situation was toxic. Well, she was poking and he was reacting. She was creating a reaction, action. She did an action to create a reaction, and so they both were in a very toxic, explosive situation that I'm gonna just say I'm glad they're both out of, right? So let me start with that. It does show that the article was written about Johnny Depp and her relationship, right? It does show that there was some trouble in the relationship, and she took that and she created something out of it in order to gain something from it, right? So, okay, I'm going to use this to elevate my career, but on the back end, I'm going to use this also to when I need to fight him in court. So it's twofold, right? Use this opportunity to get some sympathy, right? To get some, opportunities to elevate myself, right? Attach myself to the Me Too movement. But also, too, when we go to divorce and we go to battle, I'm going to use that, right, in order to battle him as well. Okay. So that's what that represents in her cards, period, point blank. There's a lot of poking of the bear. There's a lot of setting up scenarios, and he's reacting to it. There's a lot of, you hit me, and then he's like, what do you mean? What are you talking about? What? Like, you could see she's trying to get him to say that. And then when he's saying, you hit me, she's diverting, right? So, for example, he said, you punched me. And she said, no, I hit you. Well, ma'am, if I hit you, I still punched you. That's Jedi mind trick. So just pay attention to the fact that she's trying to switch it a little bit, right? And I'm just stating the obvious, right? you know, when it comes to her, she's trying to get him to say he did something, and he's like, what are you talking about? I'm leaving. And then when he's saying you punched me, she's saying, I didn't punch you, I hit you. It's the same thing, right? So you got to be careful. So she is that moon card is somebody who's trying to falsify information. She's trying to misconstrue. There's some energy around. Let me say this, she's dangerous. There's an irrational energy to her. You know, somebody used the term, there's a weirdness to her, right? And he better thank his lucky stars he got out of it when he did, because to me, this is a weird situation. And I'm gonna just be honest with you. Just looking at her vibe, her energy, the dressing alike in court is really weird. All right, so the next question is, you know, is she making false statements? And the moon card is saying that to some degree she's inflating the situation, right? She's inflating the danger. That's what it talks about. But even in the Page of Cups is coming. That Page of Cups, y'all know in reverse, that talks about a person who's being deceptive in order to create an emotional response in order to get somebody to feel sorry for her. So again, there's some deception in her cards. And we're going to ask the same thing for Johnny. Right now, we're focused on Amber Heard. All right. The next one is this. Did he truly, Johnny Depp, right? Defamation is, you know, free. You can have your freedom of speech, or you can have, you know, she's protected by the First Amendment rights. As long as it doesn't affect someone's livelihood, or, you know, you got to read the rules. And it does show, I was just about to ask that question. These cards are coming out beautifully. It does show that he was affected. Conserve energy, right? Cleaving onto that. So it does show that his opportunities for more financial success. He lost some opportunities. It feels like maybe 1, 2, 3. It could have been 4, right? It could have been opportunities that people were going to offer him and they didn't offer him because it's, you know, the person standing on some coins that hadn't been offered yet. But it feels like 1 opportunity for sure, 2 possibly, but there could have been more where he didn't even realize that, you know, somebody thought, well, after hearing the story, they decided they didn't want to work with him. So he did lose some opportunities because of the story that she told, right? This is people being concerned. When you see that 4 of Pentacles, that means people feel fear, right? Or dread, or they feel like, oh, I don't want to get in, you know, into all of that. I don't want people, you know, I don't want to attach my brand to domestic V. So that represents that. But it represents 2 things. It represents he lost some opportunities, and it represents people's feelings around what happened. They didn't want to give him those opportunities because of what was being said, right? Hollywood is a small place. People talk, all right? So let's go ahead and... Did she retaliate against Johnny Depp because he wanted a divorce? Again, it feels twofold, but we're going to pull some cards. And that 5 of Wands is coming out beautifully. Listen, this is like, oh, you know what? You're rejecting me. I'm going to cause conflict for you. Here comes the judgment. Here comes the law. Here comes the restraining order, right? So this is a retaliatory energy. Period. Period. And let me say this, even in the 5 of Wands, it's twofold energy. It talks about he was avoiding her, so there was no reason for her to do the restraining order. The 5 of Wands in reverse is, I'm avoiding you. I'm trying to push away from you. But she proceeded forward with judgment. She proceeded forward going to the law. That's what that actually represents, all right? So there's some retaliation energy that she's doing when she can't control the situation. She gives me big narcissistic vibes. I'm going to be honest with you. Her energy, the way she looks, I'm telling you, she give me the energy of single white female. I promise you. Like that dressing alike and that weird faces and all that stuff. She really is weird. All right, we're going to talk about Johnny next, so don't get it twisted. And they have the 9 of Wands in their energy. She's got a motive, right? I have a motive. I want to create a problem. This is a person who wants to mess up your whole entire legacy, right? Your legacy, right? That's what that talks about. Everything that you work for, your experience, I'm destroying it to the ground. I'm burning it to the ground. Give me the energy around, does Amber Heard, does she have like mental health issues? And I'm not a doctor, I don't diagnose, but we're going to just pull a few cards. Does she have any like mental, because she has some controlling narcissistic vibes, but is there like a mental health issue there? She's got the Five of Cups. She does struggle with some mental health. She has the Page of Wands. She has the Sun card. That is another mental health energy. The Sun card is about, the, in reverse can represent depression. Somebody who has ego maniac. Somebody who has unrealistic expectations. Remember he was saying, when I go to bed, you go to bed. She was saying that. That's what that could represent, right? That Temperance card is also there. That's not good as well. That's a person who can be off in balance in their energy. Or have no balance. She has the Chariot as well, and this is a person who can create, like, if somebody leaves them, they can go crazy on them. They can say they're gonna commit suicide. They can go do go crazy. That's what that talks about. She has major mental health cards. She has the Five of Cups, the Sun card, the Temperance, and the Chariot. That's major. All right, that is major. Let's go ahead. Temperance is somebody who has good health, right? This is somebody who needs to seek treatment for having difficulties. She also has the the Temperance. The Chariot is in her energy as well. And again, we talked about the Chariot. This talks about a person who can see things from a negative perspective. We talked about the Sun card, but she has 4 major cards in here for mental health. I'm not a doctor, I don't diagnose. I am reading these cards and also her energy. She gives me the willies. I'm gonna be honest with you. Okay. Now let's go ahead and jump into the next question. All right. So that was one of the questions that was asked on the actually on the question. All right. So let's see. We talked about all of that. We talked about why she did it. I do feel like her retaliation is divorce, but I do also feel like the retaliation is not her not being taken care of, right? So for example, I'm divorcing you, and remember there was a part in there about financial support. That's a part in there that also talks about retaliation because he didn't want to support her. Confirm the energy around that, Spirit, for Amber Heard retaliation. And see, that's what I'm saying. Baby, I'm so good, I'm so cold, I'm so fresh. 10 of Pentacles. This talks about, oh, you're not going to support me? Oh, you're not going to take care of me financially? Okay, I'm about to fuck it up. Period, okay? That's what that talks about. I literally just said that and that card flew out. These cards are flying out for them if you haven't been paying attention, right? Period. They're flying out. All right, so that's that. All right, so who put that bruise on her face? Was it, did Johnny put that bruise on her face? Or was it, who put that bruise on her face? Give me the energy around. Who put the bruise on Amber's face? Some bruise where they're trying to say it was self-inflicted. They saw her and her sister practicing it. So did Johnny put it, or did her sister put it? Or was it a self-inflicted wound? So in her energy, she has the 3 of Swords. She has the 9 of Cups. It is in reference to her relationship with Johnny because there's a conflict here, a separation conflict. Sacrifice, Hierophant, and the World card with the Page of Pentacles. It's in reference to the relationship, but what's interesting is that the Hangman is there. And that Hangman is somebody who is self-sabotaging each other. So even though they had the argument, it's kind of like that movie, A Thin Line Between Love and Hate, where the lady went in the bathroom and beat herself up. That Lover's card represents he was the cause of her anger. But that Hangman in reverse represents a person who did a self-sabotaging energy. I don't believe her sister beat her up. I don't believe her sister hit her to slap her to get her a bruise. The sister comes in with the Page of Pentacles. That's almost like saying, I was explaining the scenario to you, what happened, giving you the 411 so you can kind of give, somebody X, you can say what I said. It feels like a self-sabotage energy, like she did it to herself. I'm going to just say that, right? Even in her Hierophant energy, this is somebody who is putting abuse, like creating abuse with the intentions, thinking people are blinded by it, right? But the world sees through it. That's what that talks about. The world sees through you, okay? So if that bruise that was on her face feels like a self-inflicted wound, okay? Does not feel like he did it. It's in reference to him, right? It's like a setup. You know, that's what it shows. So going to the restraining order when the man was long gone, just like we just said, was a setup. Putting a bruise on yourself is a setup. There's a lot of setup energy. Doing that article was a setup. There's a lot of setting him up. Putting the camera to tape and record everything was a setup. Notice that everything that I'm saying is everything that she's doing is a set up energy. There's hence the moon card that was here. I'm trying to set you up in order to falsify, in order to create some kind of confusion, in order to create a narrative. That's what that represents. I do feel like they had a toxic relationship. They have the cards of conflict, cards of trouble, cards of confusion. I do feel like they both were at each other, but I do feel like she was the pot stirrer. That's what it feels like to me. So he's not just innocent. We're going to get to him next, but I don't want to make this reading too long. We're going into 20 minutes with her. All right, so the next one is, let's move into Johnny Depp real quick. Somebody said, I thoroughly despise Johnny Depp after watching him conduct himself during the trial. So many questions. So my questions would be, is he insanely manipulative and arrogant like I see him, or is he really a gentle and thoughtful man of integrity that his supporters think he is? Give me the energy around who Johnny Depp really is, because that's the one thing in the opening statement that I looked at. The lawyer's like, who is really Johnny Depp? Is he a good-hearted, natured person, or is he manipulative as well? Give me the energy around Johnny Depp. We'll pull one more. He has mood. He has mood energy too. So let me just say this: he's not the easiest person to deal with as well. That's what it shows, right? He has a mood thing going on where he can be up and down. And that Queen of Cups, that talks about, I am a moody person, right? I can disrespect as well. I can dishonor you. But a lot of his energy is in defense of himself. If you look at his cards, right? This is a person who's saying, I'm doing this because you are affecting me, right? So if you see that 10 of Wands and that 5 of Swords, that's a person who feels like they're being stressed out, and so they're reacting to a situation. That's what that represents, right? And so then in essence, I'm going to react. Remember they said something about the mama. This is childhood. This is a lot. He is repeating his relationship with Amber, right? That 9 of Cups. He's repeating the same errors through Amber. So the bad treatment, or the poor treatment that he received as a child, that 6 of Cups is past energy. He's repeating that cycle of abuse, of mental, verbal abuse with Amber Heard. That's what it shows in his energy as well. These cards are falling out beautifully today. But he isn't, so he does have his personality, and he can shut down. That 10 of Wands is him shutting down, which in essence pisses her off. And so now I'm after him. Guys, let me say this. A lot of what she's doing isn't just in a vacuum. She's reacting to his non-reaction, or his lack of, how do you want to say it? His lack of, his engagement. So when he disconnects, when he disengages from her, when he does what he does and he pulls back, this is when she fights him harder, right? And so she sees it as her being slighted. So his passive aggressive behavior creates a reaction, which now creates another reaction, if that makes sense. He's not innocent either. All right. That's what it shows. Even when you see him on the stand, there's a smirk that he's doing a little bit. So he's not innocent. The next one is, how does the movie industry feel? We talked about that. The movie industry, and some cards are flying out. Again, the movie industry is there's closing the door. We talked about that. We talked about that. We're separating ourselves from this. We don't want any parts of this. And his money has been affected. Hence the 10 of Pentacles in reverse. Right? He's been affected. And he will be affected. This shows even in the next 1 to 10 years. That question was on the list. Will his career be okay? He will continue to be affected through this experience. That's what that talks about. All right. So they don't want no parts of that. A lot of people don't like stuff like that, guys, especially with the Me Too movement going on, especially with the Hollywood situation with those power players. They don't like stuff like that. Has Johnny Depp ever been passive aggressive and abusive in nature to other people, women that he's dated before? Is this his first run-in? Has he been in that way? He has ugly ways sometimes, guys. So let's not get it twisted. I'm not saying he's gone through the same exact experience as Amber, but let me just say this: he ain't no joke, and there are a lot of people like that, right? The Queen of Cups, the Queen of Cups, and the King of Cups, and even in his past relationship, it may have not gotten to the point to where it is with Amber. But trust and believe you me, he is moody, baby. He is moody. And let me say this: didn't somebody say in the comment section he left his wife or he left his girlfriend for Amber? Dishonest. So I'm gonna say this: Brad Pitt and Johnny Depp, what they got in common is that they're getting their karma for the way that they've treated their former relationships or other relationships. That's what it looks like to me. But the bottom line is that he can be a person that can be hard to deal with as well, right? And he can lose his cool. Now his buttons have to be pressed, right? This talks about over a period of time you're pushing the buttons. And then he goes into a rage. The problem with Johnny is that he's bottling it up and then he explodes. He bottles it up and then he explodes, right? That's what it talks about. He does have a dependency issue as well. We saw that in the cards. But let's do a mental health check on him just like we did on Amber. Spirit, give me the energy around Johnny Depp's mental health. I'm not a doctor. I don't diagnose. But we're going to just read these cards. This is for entertainment purposes only. What does his mental health look like? Johnny Depp. Because he had like some cards of drinking. What does his mental health look like? A lot of people like him, yeah. But he does have some challenges. He has like a moody energy. He can get into like that whole thing about like retreating. He can get into that. He has the World card as one of his cards for health, all right? And that card represents somebody who can, over time, if he doesn't watch the drinking, his weight and all that, he can have some real serious disorders, right? That's what it talks about. But mainly with that King of Cups, that represents a person who he's not being totally honest in everything he's saying either on stand. So let's just be clear. You're going to hear some things in the next 6 weeks that we're going to cringe about. Just like that whole thing where he called her a fat bitch and whatever, like that was going on today. You're going to hear some cringe stuff. Again, she was saying, get off of me. He said he didn't hear that part. I clearly heard that part. Now, he sounded like he was walking away. So, again, she was manipulating it. But that's what it represents. All right. For the most part, he once he's provoked, he can fly off the handle. He has the Ace of Swords in his energy. Once he gets vexed enough, he can fly off the handle. So they have had moments, guys. Let's not get nothing twisted. He's just not sitting there like innocent Abe. He can go there. He can get rowdy. It could go there, right? That Six of Wands in reverse also is talking about, again, excessive behavior. Excess in the behavior could also represent him drinking too, and the drug use, right? So he's not innocent. I'm not going to sit here and say he's innocent. All right, let's get to the next question. I don't know. I feel like his career will be affected. He'll still have opportunities, but his career will be affected. I do see where he'll continue to have opportunities, but he has the Seven of Cups and the Three of Cups. That Seven of Cups is saying over the next 1 to 7 months, loss. And then in the next 3 months after that, he'll start to see some opportunities, favorable opportunities. But he does show in his energy losing some opportunities. The question is that how does Johnny Depp's kids feel about this situation? Give me the energy around Johnny Depp. How do his kids feel about the situation? And that Five of Swords is they resent Amber Heard. All right, that's how they feel. They resent that the situation is happening. Did they ever like her? And that's a no. I was just about to say that and the card flew out. So they resent this situation. They've never liked her. They don't like her energy. And let me say this: he's allowed her to create division with his own family, right? He has. That Judgment card is here. And that talks about like he has basically allowed this situation, this relationship, to cause him great damage. It's sad to see Johnny Depp and Brad Pitt go under like this behind relationships. It really is. I mean, the whole thing with Angelina and Brad is sad, but that's how they feel about it. All right. All right. So the children are not feeling good about this at all. The next question is, did she have, Amber Heard, did she have a relationship with James Franco? Is that what y'all talking about? Did she have a James? I wouldn't be surprised he was messing around with young girls. Give me the energy around. I guess it was James Franco. Did she have a relationship with James Franco? She liked him. See, he liked her too. What about Elon Musk? Give me the energy around Elon Musk. Was she kicking it with Elon Musk? Sexual energy. So Elon Musk and James Franco both show up in her energy as love interest, connection cards. So she's not telling the truth. James Franco, the Knight of Cups, that means he was advancing towards her. And then Elon Musk, there's a sexual connection there too, right? So she's not telling the truth about that. All right, so let's ask this next question. Honestly, people want to know, will he get a, will he finally get to a happy place, and will she? I don't even care. At the end of the day, they just need to leave each other the hell alone. Will they both get to a happy place? Give me the energy around Johnny. Will he eventually find somebody and have love and a better, healthy relationship? He'll be out of balance for the next 1 to 2 years. Confirm the energy. Will he find happiness and love, Johnny Depp? And he's going to be working on moving out of strife. And he'll still be a little dysfunctional. Give me the energy around Amber Heard. Will she find somebody that she can share her life with? She'll find another person to leech on. That's what it talks about. Another sucker to sacrifice. That's what it says. They both feel like they're going to move forward and try to put this behind them. But they both, guys, they're similar, but they're different. He looks like he's going to find somebody for sure. It's going to take her a little bit of time. She'll go through a few relationships. But he shows up actually making an actual connection with somebody in the next 1 to 5 years, potentially. All right, in a better situation. All right, so let me see. All right. Let's see. I think that's all I wanted to ask. The last question is the elephant in the room. Will he win this case? There's so many questions. I may do a part 2. So just know, if you see a part 2, come back to that one. And that's his relationship with Vanessa Paradis, all that stuff. That's a whole nother reading, guys. I want to just focus on Amber and Johnny. Last but not least, will Johnny Depp, when I'm going to say potentially, win his defamation case against Amber Heard? Johnny Depp. Give me the energy. Will he win his defamation case against Amber Heard? Ooh, he has some good potential. He has some good potential, guys. Some good potential. He has a good, he's going to be winning in the court of public opinion. You see the Star card, the 8 of Wands, the court of public opinion. The problem that I'm seeing is he has some 9s in reverse. And that talks about it could be derailed. Those 9s, 9 of Cups and 9 of Wands. So he could win in the court of public opinion. And of course, how he's being seen, he's definitely damaged her completely. Let me say this too. That was strategic what he did, to let this case extend out for 6 weeks. Because even if he doesn't win this case, right? Let's say he doesn't win this case because he has these 9s in reverse. Okay? What he's done is he's shown us who she really is. So just like she's burned bridges for him, he'll be burning bridges for her as well. So he's going to affect her stardom, okay? That 9 of Cups and that 9 of Wands represents he may not. The potential is here. He may not. Now, things could change. Things can shift. Things can move. There's this on the fence energy. But this is telling me that he also, his mistake. there's some form of truth to what, like, they both are responsible. She was poking the bear, he was reacting to it. Even in that Nine of Wands, obstacles, crossroads energy. So if people want to see him win, do some candle magic, burn a candle for him, do whatever you feel you want to do, because he shows in his energy it's going to be a tough. Through the grace of God, he would win. All right. So right now, I'm going to just go with on record to say this looks tough for him. He has the potential, though. So things can flip. All right. I hate to be on the fence like that, but it can flip. He does, but he does show in the court of public opinion well. But when it comes to the actual case itself, it does show that there's a crossroads, that there's an uncertainty, there's an obstacle. It hits a snag. That Nine of Cups is saying the same thing. You've also responsible. He's also demonstrated poor behavior. He also fed into it. He did participate to some extent, even though she was poking the bear. It does say they both have some responsibility in it, right? So that's what it shows. That's what I'm gonna go with. Now let's ask the question on her, because it's getting late. Will she win her defamation, Amber Heard, her defamation? Will she win her $100 million lawsuit against Johnny Depp? And again, we can do a part 2, but let's just kind of pull some cards on her. She is the Empress, the Hangman. Will she went into it confident. She went into it with a lot of confidence. And she went into it with a lot of confidence. Right? That's what it talks about. But the problem is that she has in her energy, people are just not feeling her. It's like failed negotiation. So let me just say this. She felt she had a good case until this all is going to play out. Like you're going to have to literally, girl, work for your coins. That's what it talks about. You're going to really have to cultivate your career, because it just shows like people are not going to be willing to give you money over this. They're going to, by the time she gets to her case, so much damage to her reputation and what's been said and done will be affected. This case will affect her chances to get paid from Johnny Depp. That's what that represents. That Chariot is failed negotiation, trouble, delays, discipline, loss of direction. So this case will, again, he's setting it up, suing her first to affect her ability to get anything out of him. So it feels like you're going to have to just have some, go get back into the situation with the movies and try to make a point out of that. How will her career look after this is all said and done? Amber Heard. Because he looks affected. Will she be affected? Will she have opportunities? Amber Heard. Opportunities that she once had, guys. She'll still have some opportunities. That's what it shows. She's a woman. She'll still have some opportunities. People are going to still work with her. She'll still have some opportunities. All right. I pulled all that to say he'll still have some opportunities. He'll be affected too. They'll both be affected. But remember, she'll probably be taking smaller roles. She's not a big star like Johnny Depp. Confirm the energy around Amber Heard. Will she be affected by opportunities? She feels like she'll still have some. She'll be affected too for a period of time. People not wanting to. Let me see. People don't trust her. She has a deceptive nature. All right. This is the end of the road for me. I'm done. On the reading on Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. I may come back with a part 2. There's so many questions here. If I showed y'all the list of questions, y'all would be like, what the hell? So this is part 1 and part 2. So we may come back with a second part to this. I'm not sure yet. Right now, I'm just going to go with what I have here. Thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. From my personal opinion, from an intuitive, I feel like they both played a part in that relationship. I think he stayed way too long in a toxic situation. I felt she was narcissistic, poking a bear, controlling. He's passive aggressive. Like it's a bad mix at the end of the day. Like just two toxic and dysfunctional people that shouldn't be together. But I don't like all that taping and recording. When you start getting people that's secretly taping, I don't like that. I don't like people like that. That tells me that you're up to no good, and that's gonna affect her ability, even for her own case. So, in a lot of ways, she set it up to hurt herself too. So, good luck to everybody. I wish them all the best. Bye bye. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, share this video, and give me your feedback. Bye bye.